What is up, everyone? We are back to look at another tool today. Today we're looking at the Fantasy Redzone tool. This tool is a fun idea that I've been kicking around for a little while that lets you track play-by-plays live, but be able to filter in some of that fantasy goodness that Dynasty Daddy has. So let's take a look. Currently, it's a club-only feature, but you'll be able to access it under players, or if a game is live, you'll notice a Redzone option here that will take you right to it. So let's navigate right to Redzone. So what we will be greeted with is this, right? And this is with me logged in. If you're not logged in, it will prompt up here to log in. You can use it without being logged in. What you'll notice at the top is you can resync your league, similar to the portfolio tool. So if you make a roster change and you want to update it here, it will do that. We also have the ability to filter out your rosters. So if you're like, I actually don't care about this league, it will update everything accordingly. But we'll keep everything for now. So at the top of the page, what we have is we have these player cards. These are all your players that are currently set in your starting lineups. If you look at it, it will currently tell you how many leagues they're starting in, and they're sorted by most started in. So right now I have Rico Dowdle starting in 5 games. It will also have a up-to-date stat line. These will update live with the games as well. If you click on them, you'll see I clicked on Rico Dowdle. It will filter all the play-by-plays by all the plays that Rico scored, and then also update the players on the side so you can track. Obviously, if you click one player, you only have Rico Dowdle, but there is a players tab to track all the players. Another thing is it will filter through all the leagues that you have them currently started in and pull the unique settings for that league. Right now we only support PPR and tight end premium, but we will be supporting more scoring settings in the future. But this will be a rough estimate of what that player scored. If you click on, like for example, if I click on this one that says Bravo Daddy, if you click on that, that will actually open up your individual league so you can, see the settings of that league and that matchup live. So it will open up Sleeper because that's a Sleeper league. Let's talk about I guess I'll mention one other thing. You'll notice the designs are based on scoring thresholds. So Josh Allen had an amazing game, 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, 44 points. So he gets this cool space card. Green are pretty good performances. Not amazing, but pretty good. Gray is a lackluster performance. And then this kind of bluish is neutral, like, oh, you did all right type of performance. And then there's also red, which is like heating up. It's a really good performance, but not like, a league-winning, out-of-this-world type performance. You can also go up here and sort these. So right now it's sorted by most rostered. You can do recently scored while the games are live. When they're not live, I don't know who recently scored, so that doesn't do anything. But then top scores as well will sort everything by your best performing players for that week. So shoutouts to me for starting Sean Tucker. Those are some desperation starts, but he got me a lot of points. And Kenneth Gainwell, that worked out well. Now if we look down here, in the middle, we have the play-by-plays. Inside each of them, there's a couple toggles. So you'll notice at the top, it has all the matchups. These matchups are all finished. I'm recording it Tuesday after all the games. But you'll notice I can click them all and it'll filter everything, whether it's the players on the side. It'll also filter all the plays. So you can see all the plays from the games themselves. Another thing to note is when they're active, these chips up here will be blue, and when they're in the red zone, it will be red. And then there's also, right now it's a flag because it's finished, but during the game, it will have a football on the left or right side, depending on who has possession of the ball. So it makes it easy to know, oh, this team's in the red zone, things like that. And then you can click it and track the games live. So if we click a game, what you'll notice is we have all plays, we have big plays. Big plays will filter out to, obviously, the big plays that are relevant. These are going to be more the fantasy relevant plays, all of that. Another option is you have a filter toggle over here. By default, it's most recent plays, but you can also sort by most reactions. So what you'll notice is every play has reactions that you can click. And these reactions will be transmitted to everyone, right? So if you're watching with, people across the world or whatever, and you're like, this Matt Gay field goal ruined me, everyone else is going to see these reactions. So it's a fun way to kind of interact. And we have a bunch of different options. These plays will also have information, right? A description. It will show the player what the stat was that they got, and then the fantasy points related to that. It will also have at the top the where they're at on the field, the possession line here. I'll have the down and distance, the time, and then obviously the score. So you can track, different things like that. The green ones are going to be scoring plays. So this was a field goal, fire emoji, and the red ones are going to be turnovers. So this one right here is a interception. So that is a turnover. And you can also see the multiple stats, right? So in here, intended target was Zach Ertz. Marcus Mariota threw an interception, and DK Samuel got the tackle. There is also one other, and I don't know if I'll see it. Yellow right here. Yellow's for penalties, right? So if a play's had a penalty thrown, it will be highlighted in a yellow border. I might change the styling later, but that's generally how it will look. So that's kind of the general play-by-play. The last big thing to note is there's your My Players section. So this is an aggregate of all the games that are currently going on, and you can track all the players that you are starting. So all these players up here, this is a filter of each play-by-play for them. So you can filter all plays and track every single, Javonte Williams 1-yard run. You can track that, or you can do big plays and only filter the big ones that have, big impacts. Big turnover on downs, a interception return on Geno Smith, a big CD Lamb touch or catch. So boom, fire, things like that. And these also have the similar sorting you can by reaction options that you're familiar with on the other play-by-plays. So that's a cool way to track the actual in-game feeds, all of that. If we look to the left, what you'll see is these players. This filter is based on top scores. It'll have the general stats, the player name, position, and based on whatever you're filtered on. So whether you're selecting My Players, it'll have all of the My Players. You'll notice that's the same list as up here. If I select Patriots Jets, it will show you the top scorers from that game. All right, Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, etc. And it's just an easy way to visualize all of that. If you have matchups here will show you all the matchups across all your leagues, and it will update every 5-ish minutes or so. And it does have a manual refresh if you want. So, if there's a big score and your platforms are updating, you can manually trigger an update if you want. If you click on one of these as well, it would open up your platform. So if you're like, oh, I actually want to see Squad Dynasty League, how that league matchup's looking, I can click that and it'll open that up for me. Then lastly, over here, we have a social feed. So this social feed is a live feed sourced from Blue Sky because their API is free. So unfortunately, we don't have every account, but we have plenty of accounts here that track important updates, injuries, all of that. And it's updates I think every 10-20 seconds or so. And it will open up to articles. It will open up tweets. It will play videos. You can watch highlights. A lot of times during the game, a big touchdown will happen, and then the highlight will get posted over here. So it's a fun way to stay in touch with the games, with all your fantasy leagues, with what's going on with highlights and social media, and be able to just take in all the fun from fantasy football. So I appreciate you checking this out. If you have any questions, concerns, feedback, all of that stuff, definitely check out the Discord. It's completely free. You can join on the homepage. We have a great community in there. And we also do live shows every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. So check those out as well. And until next time, peace.